There are obviously questions anytime you hire a first-time head coach. Just, can he do the job? But that being said, I think this worked out about as well as it could have for Kentucky. I think in an interesting way, their timing and being late to the market actually benefited them. Most of the action here seemed to be promoting, group of 5 head coaches, which I would call the Signetti effect.
Yeah.
But what that did was, by the time Kentucky came open, like a lot of the really hot coordinators were still available. And, Kentucky wound up considering, two offensive coordinators. And I think the fans would have been happy with either hire. They hired Will Stein, and they apparently also talked to Brian Hartline, the now or soon to be former Ohio State offensive coordinator, who, after he was not named the Kentucky coach, was named the South Florida head coach. So, in that sense, I think, that market in terms of the rising coordinator market was wide open for Kentucky when the UK job finally came to market. I think Stein, has a really good reputation nationally as an offensive mind. You look at the numbers, obviously Oregon has talent. I mean, he's coaching good talent, and that helps. And, that's the bottom line, really. But their offenses have been good. And, he has ties, grew up a Kentucky fan. It's interesting that how much that gets emphasized over the fact that he played for Louisville, which you almost never hear mentioned. That fascinates me. But, he knows the state. He's got a national profile, at least among the college football, the national college football media. So I think there's a lot to like about Will Stein at Kentucky.